They have information at their fingertips, which we never had.
What are the traits that they kind of bring to the workplace?
They know exactly when, where, what.
Right.
That's something that they're extremely good at. Every day has to be challenging for them. But today, the Gen Z is like, if I'm doing this today, what am I going to do tomorrow?
It's okay to be more direct.
It's good to be direct. It solves a lot of problems. At workplace, you don't need your ego.
That's a real truth bomb today.
So can you leave your ego outside the door? That's what we need to learn. They're not hesitant to try. We think twice. And if you don't do that, you can't be successful at work.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Close the Loop. I'm really excited to have Aparna C with us, who's the CHRO of Torry Harris. And today we're going to talk about a topic that we're both really excited to talk about, which is the next generation in the workforce, Gen Z. Not Gen Alpha today, we'll talk about Gen Z. We might slip into Gen Alpha a little bit, but it's always really interesting, I think, as we continue to work in the workforce, getting to understand a new set of humans, a new set of kind of preferences and desires in the workplace. So from attracting, retaining, engaging Gen Z talent, how do we do that? What does that look like? And I think this is a topic that's like highly requested by our HR audience. So thanks for joining us, Aparna.
Thank you, Ryan, for inviting me to be a part of this podcast.
Yeah, no, you have a lot of experience in the field. So maybe you can tell everybody briefly where all you've been, and then we'll kind of focus on the most recent part of your journey.
All right. So I think I started my career as a recruiter and then moved on to work with organizations like Cisco, Saskin, Dimension Data, ran my own consulting firm, worked with the Gen X. Is that what they call the older generation? Yeah, the senior citizens. Yes, I worked with them. More than working with them, I think I would manage their health.
I guess that would be the boomers, Gen X,
yes,
millennial, Gen Z.
Absolutely. And then I worked for a pharma company with, again, had a lot of Gen Zs, and now currently with Torry Harris, where it's multi-generational.
And the nature of the work is IT services.
Yes, we are into IT services and consulting.
And when you think, I mean, this whole conversation is about demographics. So maybe what are the demographics of Torry Harris?
We are multi-generational.
Yeah.
Because there are folks who have been in the company for 25 years. And we also have people who have just graduated and joining us.
Yeah.
So it's a combination.
You're pretty perceptive and you have a lot of experience, I think, working with Gen Z. So what are the traits that they kind of bring to the workplace?
I think it's interesting on their traits, right? At least I know when I grew up, at least till 1981, I didn't have a television. It's only for the Asiad Games is when we had television. But the current, the Gen Zs, they were born with digital, right? The technology. I think I still remember a 4th, 5th class, they all would have phones. There was always that parental pressure of, making sure your child has a phone. Yeah. Now, how many of us buckle to it is a different question. But yeah, I think they have information at their fingertips, which we never had. But today, everything is at the click of a button.
Yeah.
You need to know they know it. And I sometimes feel it's an overload of information because how do you decide what is true and what is false?
Yeah.
Right? Today with Instagram, they show you the same thing that happened 2 years back as well. So
as if it's true today. Yeah. So they have a whole misinformation, disinformation.
Absolutely. So that is an information overload. So, how do you decide? I think I'll leave that to them to decide, and I do not want to tell them what they have to look for. So
Yeah.
That's one trait. But I think what I also see is they believe in authenticity. They would want transparency. They would want to have a conversation, right? But short ones. They're not into long conversations. But I think what I like is they know exactly what they want. I think we didn't. At times, even today, I'm like, what am I going to do? What next? What am I going to? They know exactly when, where, what.
Right. Right.
That's something that they're extremely good at.
On authenticity, like how do you see that in the workplace? What does that look like? And maybe could you compare and contrast maybe with like a millennial or a Gen X? Like what's the level of authenticity and
So let me just take the organization, right? It can be anywhere. Earlier, we would have hierarchical systems, right? You have a job ladder and all of it. But today, for Gen Z, is like, if I'm doing this today, what am I going to do tomorrow? Are you going to give me the same thing to do tomorrow?
Right.
I can also relate this very well because my son is a Gen Z. Every day has to be challenging for them. They do not, this is my perception, right? They don't see a routine being good. For us, at times, routine is good.
Yeah.
But for them, no. They need to be challenged. And I think what I also understand is they have the ability to upskill at much faster space than we were.
Yeah.
One, because of what's available.
Just being used to digest information.
And they would want a straightforward answer, no beating around the bush, which we all grew up with.
Yeah. Yeah.
For a lot of, better word. I think that's how our parents were born, right? And that's how they came.
Right.
But today you can't do that.
Like a bigger focus on agreeableness has kind of gone now.
Absolutely.
It's okay to be more direct. And
it's good to be direct. It solves a lot of problems.
Agreed.
And they know it. Because as I said, the information overload, they know whether you're being authentic or not.
Yeah. And how does that change how leaders need to show up?
I think you need to show up. I think that's important. They see it day in and day out, right? It's like if you want to have a conversation, you should say, I want to have a conversation. They will come back and say, what's in it for me? So you should know that. It's very different.
Yeah. Multi-generational.
Very.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, transparency, authenticity is what, and if you don't know, it's all right to tell them, I don't know.
Yeah. Again, authenticity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can pick up skills, right? So you can't say, hey, this is step one, and then you move to the next ladder. They'll say, today I can do this. I can pick up another skill to get to another level as well. Can I do it?
Yeah. Yeah. So in terms of kind of HR policy and how we set up systems, like, is there anything very concrete that you would suggest the audience to do differently to kind of adapt to Gen Z? I mean, authenticity is more of it's a cultural value, but how can we, from like a policy lens, like, is there something we can do to formalize how we approach Gen Z?
There are some policies you can't do it the way they would want or whatever it is, right?
Such as?
You can't change your leave policy because that's something that the government has told you this is what it is, right? But mental health, right? That is something that they would give a priority on.
Sure. Yeah.
For them, that takes the priority. So how do you look at that?
Yeah.
Earlier, when I started working at the Cisco's of the world, we had EAP, right? Employee Assistance Program. If you even say, I'm going to take a session or go in for a counseling, you would be looked down. But today, I don't think that's the case. They are more than happy to reach out, to even have that conversation. That I find amazing.
Yeah.
That means they are okay to accept where they are, which we don't.
Yeah. Huge leap in mental health literacy.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and I think it's thanks to COVID.
Yeah.
It did change.
Yeah.
But I think it's only here. So it can't be any more like a side program, but it's more like one of your programs that it has to be there.
Yeah. And how can, I'm sure a lot of the folks listening represent or work at organizations who have had like EAP tie-ups and these kinds of things, but what does it look like to make it a main program? Like, how do you go beyond EAP?
So here is what we have done, and this is what I completely believe in.
Yeah.
We did have somebody else, I don't remember, but today we have another organization.
Yeah.
And the first thing we ask them is, how are you different from the rest? It's not just those one-off awareness programs that we're going to do. So what we did is, I don't know if this is right, but this is what we're doing, right? We've actually opened up slots saying, hey, here are the slots for you to talk to. No questions asked. If you need more, please come back and tell us. And their conversations is in confidence, right? Completely. And we are not going to judge them. So there's no judgmental biases there. And we only get a report saying how many sessions has been utilized. So my only question month on month is, in case we have to increase, let me know.
And how are you able to get so much adoption and normalize it, make it normal for people?
Just, one couple of sessions saying, hey, this is not compulsory, but this is for you.
Yeah.
And we don't hold it against you, right? This is for you to talk, to feel better, right? And it is for you.
Yeah, framing it as like this is a service for the employee.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think they're also concerned about their parents. Caregiving, right?
Yeah.
And what is caregiving? It's not just the woman at home. Today, I think it's equal, right? And you see, I think that's where the Gen Zs also see their parents, both the parents, taking care of elders at home. So that changes the entire narrative.
How can organizations better support that? I mean, we were going to talk about benefits. I guess we can talk about it now. It's very clear your views on mental health benefits and making it super accessible. What about something?
It's not me. I have a team who's extremely, positive, and they're like, this is something we need to do. So I just go with what my team tells me.
That makes it
so
easy.
The credit is for them.
No, for sure. I think that's appropriately humble for someone in your position.
You do take their views, right? And if they say this is something we need to do, I'm more than happy to make sure, and I've seen the success.
And is your HR team multi-generational?
Oh, yes, it is.
That helps.
I think the youngest one is 23 years old.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And I'm the oldest.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say how old I am, but then, yes, that's where it is.
Not required. No, and I think the senior care angle is really interesting because we have seen this angle, and I think I don't think 10 years ago, elder care or senior care benefit, like we were talking about earlier, was something that was even an expectation or something on the table. But how are you seeing those sorts of things and those kinds of benefits? Do you feel like they're accessible still for organizations?
Again, accessible, yes, but is it pan-India? No. You need to have multiple vendors. But primarily Delhi, Bangalore has taken over compared to Bombay. Pune has, if I'm not mistaken. Chennai is getting there. Hyderabad is getting there. So, but then, that's hugely dependent on manpower. You need human in flesh and blood to be a part of your household to take care of
seniors.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, and I think the vetting and the curation, at least in the elder care ecosystem, it's coming up. I think there are some folks who are trying to bring quality to it.
Absolutely.
Consolidate it. Just probably the same way we saw in gyms, right? Like Cult Fit now is a corporate benefit.
Absolutely.
Hopefully
we should get there. There are a couple of organizations which are trying to see how they can, but it's a longer way to go to.
Yeah.
Because it's not that easy as a mental health, because mental health is still accessible and you can still do it virtually.
Virtually, yeah.
Yeah, but caregiving can't be done virtually.
No.
It has to be a physical one.
It has to be done in person to like the highest quality.
Absolutely.
Level, right? It's excellent.
That is difficult.
Yeah.
The highest quality is difficult.
And on the flip side, like these are all benefits that would resonate with Gen Z. What are other benefits that we need to hit delete on that they don't really resonate with at all?
See, also at times you might say, I'm young, I might not need it.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to tell them, give them scenarios as to how even the smallest of the small things can help. See, our organization is right next to the money pile. So there are times, it's not that we don't know what will happen, but I think the basic management of the person, you don't want to do it. So all you have to do is, just take care. Then they see the benefit there.
Right.
So simple things, right? It could be you would have just fainted. Earlier, people said, hey, fan lagao. Then the person, or give the person some water or sprinkle some water on the face. They get up. We don't do that anymore, right? We actually take that.
Get them to a place, yeah.
Make sure, because you don't know what else.
Yeah, no, totally.
So that's why the why and the what have to be completely explained.
Yeah, so sharing the stories.
Yes.
Got it. So, we have seen a lot of companies who have, say, flex benefits with like a base, and they do allow now for the first time people to flex down and say, I don't even want base coverage, I want something lesser, and I would take the cash or take a gym membership. So
absolutely, that's also there.
Yeah.
But then again, as an organization, you want to tell them the base is there, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Because at times they don't realize, or nobody realizes, right? You assume you'll be healthy, but you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or the very next minute.
Yeah.
So it's more like a backup.
Yeah. I mean, so we've talked a little bit about benefits they like and they don't like, some of the policies that should be there, focus on mental health, right? There's all these things, like we're paying so much attention here, but what about maintaining benefits and policies that serve all the other generations in your company? How do you think about managing like all of these groups at the same time? Right? And is it ever in conflict?
No. I think there's some things you're very clear about. Like, for example, the base will always be there, irrespective of which force, right? And then it's up to you to see which you want. The base you have to take. Because we're not just looking at them. At times in your base, we also cover parental. So it's not for you, it's for your parents at home.
Right.
Some of them do come back and say, hey, my parents are covered, I don't need it. So that's where, if your base is your employee benefits, just the employees get covered, you can always ask them if they want to cover their parents based on whether they're covered, not covered, and all of it.
Yeah.
Normally I say is keep it as an add-on.
Yeah.
Keep
You're
it.
still giving that bit of flexibility on the parental decision.
Yeah, absolutely. But today I think you have the OPD benefits and there's a whole lot of stuff but way too expensive. Right?
Yeah, can be for sure.
Yes. So again, it's also a choice. How many of them would want to buy OPD for 10,000 rupees? But before you realize it's over, your OPD does cost. The only thing, that's why when I said the why and the what, right? It's good to explain what happens pre-post if there's a surgery. They might not know it, but can you explain it? So an awareness session always helps. And then what we also do is, within the HR team, I've made sure we have help desks. You've heard us out. You've heard the session. Take your time, process, come back and talk to us. We are here to hear you explain so that you're aware what you're going to get.
Meet them where they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that helps.
Yeah. No,
help desk is not from the vendor.
Yeah.
Right? It's in-house, which basically means we need to know what we're talking about.
Yeah. No, I think that's important. I mean, that way you can tailor your pitch or your questions to whoever you're chatting with across generations.
And you're still bringing in the human touch. And it's not an app-driven. Good to have an app. I'm not saying no. But all of these questions, while I can have an FAQ, right? A document. But still,
great to have both. Yeah.
You would know, it's like, do I know my HR whom I can reach out to? Oh yes, tomorrow in case of emergency, I know exactly whom to hit.
It's like the call versus the raising ticket.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
We do have raising tickets, but especially the help desk, I'm like, no, pick up the phone, speak, Teams chat will help because it's still a call.
Right. Yeah, and I guess you talked about other policies, right? Or even just getting everybody to work together really well. Like, have you encountered generational challenges where like one generation didn't understand the other, and how do you kind of navigate that? How do you coach managers and leaders to handle these things and like create a great work environment for Gen Z?
So I normally tell the managers, hear them out. Do not jump. Ask questions. There's no harm, right? Ask them, why are they saying this? What is it? How do you even narrate it, right? That's where your tone has to be different. Your voice modulation comes into play. You can't say, why are you saying that? Tell me what you want. It doesn't work. Can we change the entire script and say, hey, this is the question. Can you help me understand that better? I can help you better if I understand what exactly you're looking for. Because what you have in mind to what you're telling me could be two different things.
Yeah.
That helps.
Is that ever an uphill battle to train and coach
it is.
managers?
Not everybody will understand that.
Yeah.
So then which also comes back to us in HR saying, your own voice has to be a different tone.
Yeah. Everyone should not modify, copy your inflection. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very distinctive one. Yeah. No, makes sense.
So, yeah. But it's good fun because once they realize, you actually can learn so much from them. Oh, I'm very happy talking to a 26, 27. There's so much information that you will understand.
Yeah.
I've had
recent
conversations.
Stories, that really struck
I think
with you?
just Saturday, while she's not a Gen Z, but she's 32 years old, and we wanted to catch up for breakfast. I said, why don't you come over, come home for breakfast? So she did come. She's been teaching robotics for the last 10 years.
Oh, wow.
She started when she was 22, and
so
she's
cool.
32 today. And she's reached out to 10,000 students, and she works with schools.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, how do you teach robotics? She says, we have a kit, right? So it's a touch and feel. It's not theory like the way, most of us.
Textbook or something.
Yeah. So it's more because you need to explain how this works.
Yeah.
So that helps. And I'm amazed at 32, she's teaching 10,000 students, and that's the impact that she brings in, right?
Right.
That's one.
Outside of work, right?
Outside of work. Completely
Which I think
outside.
for Gen X and boomers, I think that is a pretty different concept,
Absolutely.
right? Like outside of work, we have family.
Apart from that, there was another time when I was
Yeah.
having a conversation with one of my mentors, and then his daughter joined in, and she told me something called microfeminism. And I was like, you wouldn't.
And what did you learn? Yeah.
So what I learned is, I'd taken my car for servicing, and then she called me back to get a feedback, and the first thing she said is, "Hello, sir." I said, "Excuse me," and this girl is actually watching me, right? She's listening. I said, "Excuse me, do you know whom you've called?" She said, "Yeah, I know. I've called you, ma'am." I said, "Now you're calling me ma'am, but your first thing you said, 'Hello, sir.'"
Right.
I said, "Do you have my name? Do you know whom you're calling?"
Right.
And when did I give it for service? So I asked her a series of questions, right? Without getting perturbed or anything.
Yeah.
She said, "Yes, ma'am, you own this car. You had come last week. You dropped it off for servicing." And I said, "How can you call me sir?"
Right.
Right? No, normally. I said, "So, here's my question. How many of the women in 10 come and drop off their car?" She said, "Ma'am, 5. So I said, "It's a 50-50 ratio.
Yeah.
When it's a 50-50 ratio and you know whom you're calling, how can you call sir?"
Right.
That.
It's like this micro teachable moment.
Yes, and that's what she said, that's microfeminism. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
See, that's something I learned.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think.
So it again depends on how you want to take it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. I think that both are really good examples of kind of, wow, I think like this next generation is going to be super amazing.
No,
super
they
inspiring.
are. They know. That's what's it, right? They know. So the other girl who told me about microfilm, she's a brand strategist. She runs her own company. She's 27 years old. Super confident, right? That's what we need to learn. They're not hesitant to try.
Yeah. Yeah.
We think twice.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe reverse L&D here,
I always say reverse mentoring works.
Yeah. No, I think if you're open to listen, I think.
Yes.
managers and leaders need to keep the ego down a little bit and really,
And at
really
workplace,
embrace it. Yeah.
at workplace, you don't need your ego. Why? Why do you want an ego? You're here to work, and all of you are here to work together for the organization. So can you leave your ego outside the door?
That's wise. Yeah. That's a real truth bomb today.
No, that's so true, isn't it?
It is. It is. Yeah. I think that's
You can't say
it's
my way or
fundamental
the
wisdom.
highway. No.
Fundamental wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that, you can't be successful at workplace.
It's 2030. Gen Z's grown up a bit. They've been in the workplace, or Gen Z for another 5 years.
Easily, we will have what? The data that I was reading up was 100 million or something. That's the number of people who would be
Gen Z by that time. Where do you see them in your organization or generally? What do you think they would have achieved
in the next
by
5
then?
years? I would have been out, and they are the ones who will be running it. So, and I think they have the capability. They're much faster in learning, and they're happy to try it, and they're okay to fail.
Yeah.
That's something that's good to learn from them.
So you feel pretty positive about.
Oh yes, I feel very positive. No two ways about it. I'm sure when we were younger, our parents wouldn't have been this positive about us. But I think the times have changed. That's also because of the technology that you have, right? With your electric cars. We didn't have we only had Ambassador then.
Yeah, I mean that too, like on a waiting list sometimes. Yeah.
And come on, I think Calcutta still has ambassadors, right? The yellow color caps.
Yeah.
But you don't see that here.
Right.
So it's changing, and it's definitely for the better.
Yeah.
And why not?
And
India will have the best workforce that you can ever ask for.
I think lots of global investors are betting on that. And
how do you think the GCCs are growing?
Yeah, no, totally. We did a conversation with Deepti from Intel, and she was talking about that and headcount growing from 3,000 to 12,000 in the last few years. And I think that's a consistent story that we hear now.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But then if you look back, that's what started 25 years back as well, right? You did have the Texas Instruments and Cisco's of the world who first started it. It was more of a captive.
Yeah.
R&D centers and to the other GCC. So it's just a terminology.
Moving from cost centers,
absolutely.
Value centers.
Earlier, it was a cost center, the back operations. It's no longer the back operations.
The value
Today,
centers,
the R&D runs here. Today, a lot. So for example, there's another organization which is in the retail. Their entire online happens from India and not from the US. Without naming which retail.
Yeah.
But that's their website. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, no, makes sense. I think the Build in India movement, I think,
absolutely
very pro.
Oh yeah.
Any kind of final thoughts for the HR audience today? Just to kind of close the conversation. We've talked about what to add and delete from benefits. We've talked about how to show up in the workplace. We've talked about how this generation butts up against the others, right? Any kind of actionable advice maybe that some of these HRs can take back to their companies like next week to create a better environment for Gen Z? Like, is there?
Listen to them. Listen to them.
Open your ears up.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And have those conversations. You never know how you can be surprised.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every day can be something new for you to learn. And I know that for a fact with just my team. I enjoy the conversations.
Yeah.
It's like I'm challenged all the time.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Nice. Well, that's a very fitting way to end this conversation. I think I was challenged. I love it. And this was great. Great to have you on. I think, would love to kind of have you back on to see how this goes. And, 5 years from now,
absolutely.
I think when Gen Z is taking all of our jobs, I think it'll be interesting. But no, I think we touched on some really important things today, and thinking about how I think taking a strengths first approach on looking at any group of people this whole conversation, unfortunately, we are sort of stereotyping, right? Like we're taking a whole swath of diverse population and saying you are this.
Yeah, which is not fair. You shouldn't do that.
It's totally not. But I think from a people management, you do look at demographies, and you kind of have to think about these macro trends.
So that's where one size doesn't fit all, right?
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, so you'll be different, and the other person is going to be different.
100%.
But unless I have a conversation with you, how will I know the two of you are different?
Yeah.
I can't assume.
Yeah.
I can't say this glass of water should fit both of you. That's all you would need. You might need a glass of water. The other guy can say, no, I want to have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
That's the kind of mindset that we need to have.
Yeah. Yeah. So kind of move beyond these generalizations.
Yes,
really
absolutely. And you don't have to get your ego. Be humble. That's okay. You might have so many years of experience, but you never know what you'll learn from them.
Yeah.
Go with that.
Nice. I think that's a message that Gen Zs would appreciate very much. So
I have a Gen Z at home, so
yeah, you're used to the conversation.
We share a fantastic rapport. I get to know, I would say, at least 80% of what he does.
That's pretty good, I think.
And I have picked him up at 2 in the midnight when he's out drinking with his friends. He's like, cab is coming. He's told his friends, no, my mom is coming to pick us up. And not just him, I've dropped his friends home. And then we have driven back. So, yeah. I've enjoyed those conversations.
The kids will be okay, I think, is my takeaway from this conversation.
Yeah, we should have that kind of bonding.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for the time, and
Thank you.
Really looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ryan. It's a pleasure.